at this ALMO Pro AV E4 event in Boston, you guys had a pretty big announcement because you launched ALMO Control Services, if I'm saying that right.
That's right.
So that's a big announcement for you guys, and Eric Olson, one of your business development managers, you're going to be kind of heading it up. Maybe you should give us a little bit of an overview.
Sure, I'd love to. It's a very exciting opportunity for us to unveil a new service at this E4. ALMO Control is essentially programming services that we're offering for our customers so that they can enable their business to use additional programming services for companies like Crestron, AMX, Extron. We do DSP programming as well for digital signal processors. So usually those involve some form of an intricate programmer, either to be on staff. This way we allow them to use a third-party service that we've partnered with, and they're able to get their programming services done for projects that they either normally would not have bid on, or would not be involved in, or became involved in and didn't have the resources.
Right, and that happens sometimes, right? Like guys will say, yes, I can do that, and then, most dealers can relate to the concept of then having to figure out how to do that.
Yes, of course. Say yes to everything, figure it out later, and that's where we come in. We help our dealers become full end-to-end solutions providers. They can not only sell the equipment, their installation services, but now they can use additional programming services as well.
So Sam, I know you're going to jump in, but I wanted to say, you guys have been pretty good over the last few years about launching services that you think can help integrators enhance their service offerings and hopefully provide new streams of revenue. And one of the ways you're positioning this control services rollout is as a managed service offering that can be offered by dealers. Can you kind of talk about that a little bit?
Well, sure. We're always looking for ways to help our dealers out and help them grow their business. And managed services is just a natural extension for our resellers, getting a recurring revenue stream and helping them grow their businesses. That's we started out with the content creation, which was about 2 years ago, and that was for the digital signage, and we're still doing very well with that. So that was to enable the integrators to today's keynote presentation. They asked how many people supply digital signage hardware, and a lot of hands went up. And then the question was asked, how many are providing the content for the digital signage hardware? And only one hand went up in the room.
Right.
So there's an opportunity there for our resellers to supply the content. We do the content for them, for their end user, and that's a revenue stream, and that can be a recurring revenue stream. And this programming services. Well, then we launched installation services, which enabled dealers to, if they had hit a big project or had a project out of their territory, they could use our third-party installation services without hiring full-time employees.
Mm-hmm.
So that enabled them to take on bigger jobs and keep their engines running without staffing up and then having to let people go if it was just a peak in their business, or it was a big job, or again, like I said, it was outside of their geography. So programming services is kind of along those same lines. There's going to be integrators that have great Crestron and AMX and DSP programmers on staff, but they're going to hit a point where they might have a really big job. They want them to focus on that particular job, and they might have some smaller jobs that they'll have to either not do, or pass on, or push back, and then they can use our programming services to keep the ball rolling at their businesses.
Yeah, I think you raise a really good point, because you guys obviously have a lot of ALMO dealers who have expert programmers on staff, and I think you go on to be pretty clear that you're not looking to compete with those guys.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. We're not going to do this program. Any of our programs are all through our resellers, and we're really actually trying to help them out.
So Eric, you had mentioned earlier kind of leaning on third-party programmers that you have relationships with. Do you want to just get a little bit more into how that'll be structured, where the expertise will come from?
Sure, these are well-vetted expert programmers with 10 programming languages from AMX, Crestron, Extron for the majority of control systems. And then for DSP program, they do Biamp, Clear One, Rain. So each one of those programming languages, they have experts on staff. Everything is done remotely and virtually. Mm-hmm. So the customers can deploy virtual kits where these guys actually just need a person on site to plug it in the connection. Everything is sent in a Pelican case, from the modem to allow them to connect to the internet to every adapter and every software development tool that they would need. So they comes with a full functioning laptop, a modem, and all the adapters. All they need to do is really plug it in and then provide a detailed wiring diagram so that they can make the connections.
Okay.
Everything else is done remotely, so it can be used in any area in the United States, even if it's outside of your general coverage area if you're an integrator. So like Sam alluded to, increase your brand reach a little bit in your companies. You can tap into additional markets. We're just giving smaller integrators options where they normally would not have a programmer on staff due to the expense of having that resource on staff can be very expensive. So these guys, we want to allow them to bid on control projects and to feel comfortable that they have expert programmers that they can rely upon.
Makes sense and very cool. So Sam, this makes so much sense when you think about the trend of ALMO, like rolling out these services over the last, really couple of, maybe 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So much sense that I've often thought that, like ALMO would someday come out with, some kind of a programming offering, just because it seems like something that the market would demand. Why now? Like, why are you doing it now?
Well, we've been rolling the services out in kind of a planned way. And it's funny that you say that, because you're not the first person who, I've had dealers, integrators come up to me, or people in the industry say, when are you going to launch your programming services, with no knowledge that we were going to do that. And so after we did the installation services and the content, we launched ALMO Connect last year, and that's really starting to take off, where our integrators can sell the bandwidth, the voice, the phone, the bandwidth for their jobs, and all they really have to do is ask the end user about that, and then we take care of the rest, and they get a recurring revenue stream from that job. And in a lot of cases, our Pro AV integrators have totally not been involved in that. They think that that's something that they can't participate in, but it's a recurring revenue stream that's basically free money for them, and all they really have to do is ask the question. So sorry, making a long answer to your question, but we had to digest and launch these successfully. If we'd launched all 4 of these together, it would have been, you got to focus on one thing at a time and get it up and running. So programming services was the last one, maybe not the last one ever, but right now we've launched the 4 key ones. We have had input from our integrators that they wanted.
Okay, well, very cool. Well, Sam Taylor and Eric Olson from ALMO Pro AV, good luck and congratulations with the launch.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom.